All right, going in 3, 2, and 1. On this Wednesday morning, it's time for our Allied Cooperative program. And I have Troy Thompson. He's the Director of Refined Fuels and the C-Stores for Allied Cooperative. Something that's always on our minds as we drive by these gas stations and the C-Stores are the markets that are happening that get our fuel to make us go. From your viewpoint, what are the markets doing right now?
The markets are pretty stable. We're pretty pleased with that. I think that's what our customers like to see. They like to see, stable markets without a lot of risk, and that's kind of what we've been showing. If you look at where we are with crude oil in 2024, if you look at West Texas Intermediate crude oil prices, they were averaging around $77 a barrel. 2025, about $65 a barrel, and 2026 forecast is, I've seen forecasts out there for as low as $51 a barrel. So I would say, between the $51, $55 a barrel. So I think that makes us feel pretty good about where we are with energy pricing. There's really very little that is showing that it's going to move up in pricing, other than potential geopolitical risks, which are always there. But as far as supply and demand, right now the forecast is we're going to be a little bit oversupplied for demand. So that means that prices will come down a little bit. I've also read that we could maybe see the lowest gas prices we've seen since pre-COVID. So I think that's good for people wanting to think about planning trips for the summer and travel. We should have reasonable gas prices, and supply should be pretty good.
And I'm always interested in some of the parts that go into setting our prices. As you mentioned, geopolitical. When it comes from the U.S., when it comes from somewhere else, who are some of the other countries that have some of that effect on our prices?
Well, obviously the OPEC plus nations, if they're going to increase production, decrease production, or hold production, the OPEC nations right now have said they are going to leave production kind of where it's at. So that gives us some stability. The non-OPEC countries, which we are one, U.S., Brazil, Guyana, they may overproduce, which they have been doing a little bit. So that is bringing the prices down a little bit. Other geopolitical things I think are on people's mind is obviously Venezuela. After this weekend, we did see crude oil jump up about $1 yesterday. So we're seeing where that goes. It's going to have very little impact, I think, short term, because Venezuela's oil production has fallen to about 1% of global supply, really due to mismanagement and underinvestment over the years. We're also looking at what happens with the Ukraine and Russia. There's a lot of embargo on Russian oil right now. If that gets worked out, I think that again will relieve a lot of pressure on crude oil. But overall, for 2026, projection is for oversupply versus demand. So we should see very favorable energy prices for 2026.
And you do wear another hat with the director of those C-stores. How many C-stores does Allied Cooperative have around?
We currently have 12 C-stores. So we're as far to the east in Wisconsin as Black Creek. And we go as far west as Augusta, Mindoro, and quite a few C-stores here in central Wisconsin. We have stores in Colby, Stratford, Auburndale, Pittsville, Adams, Granton. So we're kind of here in central Wisconsin with our Cemex C-stores.
And what are some of those special features when it comes to your C-stores?
Most of our C-stores do have good food offerings. We do hot stuff pizza. We have 4 stores that do Chester's chicken, which is very popular. We're just a small kind of hometown stores. We're not big franchise stores. So I think we have a personal touch. I think our customers like to know they're recognized, and we have a lot of regular customers, and we appreciate that business. And being a cooperative, we are owned by our customers. So I think that's something that's special.
Always getting those updates from Allied Cooperative on our Wednesday morning program. And today it was with Troy Thompson. He's the Director of Refined Fuels and C-Stores for Allied Cooperative. And I'm Jill Welke.